Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I've got an unboxing to do. It arrived this week. Some people might think I've already got this. They'd be sort of right, but also sort of wrong. So there it is, the 1.1 meter Typhoon. It is not a Tempest. It looks exactly the same as a Tempest, but it's not the Tempest. The Typhoon came out before the Tempest, and it actually had some structural problems. If you look very closely at the tail just here, and there were metal plates that they put on the outside of the frame, because these in real life were renowned for the tails breaking off. The whole back section with the vertical and horizontal stabilizers would break at this point. In the real bird they tried to fix it by strengthening runners on the inside, but at the end of the day, while it was a Typhoon, they put these plates, they were welded in place to give it strength. So after the Typhoon came the Tempest. Now the 800mm plane I've got will, for all intents and purposes, look like this, and that is a Tempest. Let's see what it looks like in the box. A couple of things about this. I will take it all out and lay it out so we can see it. This prop is exactly the same prop that's used by the 1.1 meter Zero A6M3. So I have a spare prop for the Zero, therefore I'm not going to buy, and I didn't buy a spare prop for this because it's the same prop. This uses a 2200mAh 3-cell battery. Classic FMS manual here, the prop over here. The prop, as I said before, is the same as the one used by the Zero. Tail surfaces, horizontal stabilizer and elevator. Comes in two halves, we'll take a look at that. Spinner, goodie bag, one-piece wing, and fuselage with the vertical stabilizer and rudder already installed and fitted. Classic FMS manual, nothing much to say about this. They're good, they cover everything in detail. Part components, let's take a look at the specs. We can get the specs in. There we are. 1.1 meter wingspan. It's 850 kV brushless. 40 amp ESC. 6 9-gram servos, because it's got flaps. Pictorial diagrams of how to set everything up. Put your wings in, battery. This has one of those special FMS junction boxes. I still haven't quite worked out how they all work. Check the direction of the motor rotation. Rates, it's got high and low, so I'll stick some mediums in as well. Centre of gravity 40 to 45mm from the leading edge at the root. And that's the manual. Take a look at these. I actually joined these together, which might have been a mistake because they're very tight. They've got a carbon spar. This is a square peg. It goes into a likewise receptacle at the other end. And these have also got a screw hole here and here, so you can actually, once you've done that, you can put a little screw in there that will lock them in place. Horn is moulded in to a one piece that covers both sides of the elevator. Rods are joined and you've got the same type of moulding at the other end, real strong. They are foam hinges, but they already look laminated. There's no cracking or anything, so it's lamination, not just paint. Excellent. Here's the spinner, very short, very dumpy, and the way it engages with the motor is through this hex nut socket. It basically slides onto the motor shaft adapter and locks into place. So as the shaft rotates, so this rotates. No chance of slippage whatsoever. And your prop just rests up against here, and it has a screw right through the centre to hold it all together. Speaking of which, if we look at the goodie bag, these great big long grey things are cannons. Then what else is in here are some wing bolts, some nuts, 4 and a spare wing bolt, love it. There's some screws for the elevator to screw that in place over here. Prop nut, which is just a funny old piece of aluminium. It's got a hole through here where you can tighten it up, and then it's got a hole at the end where you screw the spinner onto it. And that's all there is in that bag. The wing painting is beautiful. It's really nice. The grey and the green, this lovely yellow leading edge. Invasion stripes. All one piece wing. The wing saddle has got this FMS junction box where all the cables from the servos, retracts, come into here, this box, and then this box just has a couple of leads which go out into your receiver. I really don't quite know how they work. It's got a bit of dihedral on the wing, if you can see that. It actually comes along and then the outer panels go out. Very thick core here, very thick. On the other side, not as clean, it's a bit messy, but we've got the roundels, ailerons already connected, already servos FMS branded. A little bit of fuel tubing to hold it in place, very good. It's quite interesting to see here is that the retracts, the mounts are angled. So these retracts are actually going to stick out. I like the way that the wheel cover matches the striping. They feel like foam, hard foam tyres. Plastic fittings here to take the bolts for the wing. This is gorgeous. These are splat flips or split flaps, but they are paired together. So let me show you this. Oh, can I move it? Yeah, look at that. So you're actually getting two areas that move down. That is cool. They've also painted the inside with the stripes. That's nice. That is nice. It would have been even nicer if they'd painted the inside of this grey, but they haven't. They've left it white, but never mind. But that's awesome. Split flaps, eh? Yeah, I like it a lot. Right, so let's take a look at this Tempest. Oh, no, it's not. It's a Typhoon. Lovely radiator grille. It is actually grilled as well. Big hole. Well, I suppose that allows air to duct through it. So it does actually act as an air duct. And the battery goes in there as well, so you actually sucks in air, or air gets forced through it directly over the battery. That's pretty good. Motor buried away in there, and there's that shaft, and on the end of this shaft moulded into it is the hex nut that the spinner backplate goes over. Six plastic exhaust pipes on either side. Looks good. Cockpit looks pretty decent. Decent pilot in there. There's actually instruments on the instrument panel. I don't know if you're going to get those in focus. The funny thing about it, and I'll show it a bit later, it's got a gaping hole in there. And I've no idea what that's for. And it's got a hole in front of the pilot. Decals, panel lines, brilliant. So these are the fish plates all the way around, which a lot of these Typhoons needed, or the tail would just break away through fatigue. If you look at the rudder here, the rudder rod comes through to the rudder, but then it's pinched by the tail wheel. That's very good. So once you know your rudder's dead straight, you just loosen this off, straighten the wheel and tighten that up. As the rod moves, it also moves the tail wheel. Very neat, which means there's only one actual push rod on the servo. Nice dense compact foam, always is with FMS. Gap here to push your wires through from your wing. Here's the wing saddle. I can see brass nuts embedded into the plastic guides. Cooling vents for the air to escape the fuselage. And there is some detailing. It's quite nice detailing on it. Let's take this off. Okay, that's strange. This is very deep. This has a hole here that goes up into the back of the cockpit. No idea what that's for. Also has a slit here. This is deep. This is a big piece that goes inside the fuselage, so you're actually limited to a space in there. It looks big, but when you put your cover on, all this is covered up. You can't put a receiver there. So there's your elevator and rudder servos, and as we suspected, it's only got one horn on each. This is the rudder one, and that I don't like. This has got one of those push rod adapters where you actually undo a screw and you can slide the rod backwards and forwards. It's right on the edge. There's no spare coming out this side of that rod. Not sure I'm happy with that. And I don't know why they did that, because the other push rod, which is for the elevator, is on a Z-bend. It's just a Z-bend into the horn. I don't know why it's adjustable here, this way. Speed controller, what have we got here? We have Predator 40 amp ESC. Yep, and it looks like the colouring on the motor wires has already been swapped over, so it rotates in the correct direction, but we always check that. And the other thing this has, which if I can get it out, is a battery tray, and that's because the battery just goes deep into the fuselage at the nose, deep down into there. You strap it onto the battery shelf, or whatever you want to call it, then you line it up like so, and then you push it down, then you can feel it does this little click when it's in there. Yeah. Now there is plenty of space in here, so if I want to add weight I can add weight. I don't think you can pin that down because you need to be able to get the tray out and the wires come over it. That's why it's loose. XT60, of course it's an XT60. But this is interesting because that takes up so much real estate inside there. Yeah, now this has, on the tail, has these plastic bars that come out, and what you do is you push on the horizontal stabilizer and you can screw down into it. But it is plastic, it's screwing into plastic. Typhoon, 1.1 meter Typhoon. So just to complete the picture, oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, I found the other rockets that were missing. So it's now got 8 rockets, 4 per wing. But that one is a Tempest. The other one is a Typhoon. And the only way I can tell them apart is because this one doesn't have the fish plates on the tail. So by the time they got it to the Tempest stage, they had sorted out the tail breaking off issues. So thanks for watching, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you on another video very soon. Cheers.